In Morocco, we are in the middle of a crisis. We want tourists to still come to Morocco. That's very important for our economy. And if you fly into Marrakesh or the big cities, you will see very little change. But of course, there is devastation out in the countryside and in the High Atlas, and you will have seen reports of that on the news. Look, at times like this, you will Google and see lots of organisations offer to help. And it has to be said that the King in Morocco has allowed 4 countries to come in and offer assistance, including the UK, and they arrived at Marrakesh airport last night with a huge rescue delegation and goods and sniffer dogs, and they're on the way to the High Atlas. And people may say, well, why don't you accept help from everywhere? And I think this is very important to remember, that we are a very safe, liberal country. This is a country which is an Islamic country where visitors can come from Europe and have very much the sort of holiday they would have in Europe. They can go into bars and hotels, they can enjoy a drink and so on. You can't do that across the whole of the Middle East. And we have a very, very low incident of terrorism. And that is because we are led by a king who understands, is very gifted in terms of diplomacy and security, and the government are very careful how they allow people into the country. And they want people, of course they welcome people who are going to support Moroccans' ways and Moroccan culture. And those of us who live here do understand that. I've had approaches from various organisations who want to send in field workers to help me. Well, I've had to say no, because I'm not permitted to do that. If another organisation was coming into Morocco, they have to have permission. They have to have permission from the government or from the king directly. But that doesn't mean that people can't help. Now, what I find fascinating is that I've seen quite a lot of posts saying that these various international animal charities are collecting to help in Morocco. Splendid. We welcome that. However, this morning I get a message from colleagues in the El Aouz region, which is where the disaster took place, telling me that donkeys are wandering and starving in great numbers. Where is everyone? So, we can't let that go. We have to make a decision, and a decision fairly quickly. I've explained to people we don't necessarily have the manpower to set up teams, but I'm sure there are teams of good Moroccans who would help. And what we can do is that we can raise through our own donations money in the first instance to send a lorry of alfalfa up there, as you see coming into our refuge on a regular basis. Now, a lorry of alfalfa like that, or hay, is £1,000. That's the reality. I'm sorry, that's what it is. So of course donations coming in and continuing to come in are very welcome. We will show you what we're doing, because it's very important when people do donate that they know that their money is being used quickly, effectively, and to relieve suffering. I have very good friends who are in a convoy now going up to Amsmirs, I think, and that they include a friend of mine, Fad Schaller, who's a filmmaker, Mark Willenbrook, who some of you will know well. And it's interesting that all these people were friends of James Cutting. You know, we lost James last year, one of our greatest allies and friends. And they have organised and are doing something now. They're taking blankets and food. Someone has asked if it would be sensible to send up dog food and cat food, and of course I've said yes. Ayub is out at the moment, not too far from here, but he's taken the medical kit and is treating a dog who was found, who was injured. But the Moroccan is going to keep the dog, but has asked for help to treat it. So we can all do what we can do as we do it, but we have to do it quickly. We can't leave those animals to starve. We can't leave human beings buried in the rubble. So I'll continue to post the outcome of anything we do, and I'm always careful to guide people to donation points that we know are reliable and the donations will go through properly. I hope you understand, I'm trying to be diplomatic, but I find it extraordinary when I look at the web and see how many people are asking for donations to help in the relief in Morocco for animals. And seems to be at the moment, when it comes to equines, and I emphasise equines, here we are asking again that we need to feed these animals. Bye for now.